In a time when politics has become a sensitive topic, affairs of state encompass our homes, communities, and relationships. As students, we have the ability to shape election outcomes and condition the future of an informed democracy. Furthermore, as student journalists, we strive to bring you the real facts with evidence, crafting news stories to serve the public interest. This is Pride, People, and Politics. Welcome to this week's segment of Pride, People, and Politics. Every day, your life is influenced by the government, from the parks you visit, to the roads you drive on, to the education you receive. These activities are all based on decisions made by the government. By voting, you as a citizen are participating in the democratic process, and it is a privilege, as there are lots of places around the world where people do not get this opportunity, which is why this episode is fully dedicated to the importance of voting. To start, North Carolina will be holding primary elections on March 5th, 2024. During this election, voters choose which candidates should be the party nominees to appear on the general election ballot. If anyone needs to register to vote, you can go to the OSA office in the Student Center, Suite 365. Here are some important dates to keep in mind. The deadline to register to vote and request an absentee ballot has already passed, and early voting ends March 2nd. While voting may seem like a strenuous process, it doesn't have to be. Coming prepared is key. Take a look here into the details of acceptable voter forms of ID. If voting on campus, please note that your Aggie One card is an acceptable form of identification. An informed voter recognizes the importance of their vote while also educating themselves on the various candidates on the ballot. For the state of North Carolina, here's the positions on the ballot. To say the least, everything is at stake, and your vote matters more than ever. This past weekend, student reporter Jian Guy spoke to students at an event providing an opportunity to vote early and learn why voter education is so important. Take a look.
Music, marching, and munchies. This is how North Carolina A&T students take charge of their vote. A&T's campus was vibrant with civically engaged students on Thursday, February 22nd. The Black Joy Jamboree took place in collaboration with the North Carolina Black Alliance to increase voter education and give students the chance to vote early. I got to speak with Shia Rozier, a first-year student who helped organize this event with the Office of Leadership and Civic Engagement.
It's really just a joyous occasion because there are so many people who came before us that didn't have this right and fought so hard for it. And even to get here today, it took the work of student leaders on campus to fight for this early voting site. Going to the Board of Elections in Guilford County as well as North Carolina, it was just a massive show out that showed the importance of voting, because ultimately your vote is the most influential way to express your voice.
Others were excited about using their voice through their vote as well. First-year student Charlize Mills shares why it was important for her to vote early this election season.
Today I walked to the polls to vote. It was important for me to vote today because being at a historically Black campus, this is what we fought for.
North Carolina A&T students advocated for an early polling site back in November at the Guilford County Board of Elections. Organizations such as the ADA chapter of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated, the HBCU Student Action Alliance, and Woke Vote welcome students to their tables to learn about who's on the ballot. It's not an A&T event without a DJ and food. Food trucks offered plates to students who voted and visited the tables. I spoke to a first-year student, Kennedy Brown, just before the march kicked off at Dease Clock Tower.
I believe it's very important that we show up and bring a large presence here because we did fight to get the polling site here on campus. And so being able to have students show up and be able to show why we fought for these polling sites is super important.
North Carolina A&T's campus is rich with social justice history, and current students continue to lead with unity and activism. Aggies lead, Aggies vote, Aggies do. This is Jian Guide reporting for Pride, People, and Politics.
Aggies fought, Aggies won. Did you know that you can vote right here on campus? Now's the time to show up and show out. To secure our polling site on campus in November, numbers matter. The more of us that show up to vote early will better help secure North Carolina A&T as a permanent polling site. Our country is shaped and changed a little bit every day based on who is in government and why voting is so important. Voting is your way to have a voice in your democracy. So Aggies, continue to activate the vote. Stay tuned in the coming weeks for a deeper dive into pride, people, and politics as we speak to campus organization leaders on why politics is important to them and how their organizations are making an impact on the A&T community. I'm Kayla Collier, and we'll see you next week for another segment of Pride, People, and Politics.